Okay, guys, we've turned a new corner on this podcast.
Welcome to a brand new leaf.
We're not going to yawn.
No more yawning.
Don't think about it.
I have to yawn now.
Yeah, me too. Ready? Let's get one out. Okay, that's the last
That was a
yawn.
real one.
That's the last yawn that we'll ever have on this podcast. And we can stop talking about it. Also, this is the first episode that I'm not wearing socks and shoes, and I've never felt more vulnerable in my life. So I need to keep everything down. But welcome to a new episode, a new tide, a new page that we're turning. We're going to be bringing you guys probably a top 10 at least once a month, if not every episode.
Maybe. The goal is to transition this from a TikTok podcast into a podcast.
No more. This is true. No more hate comments, no more rage bait, just simply providing value. And
sometimes we'll incite some rage.
We will, on purpose. This is true. I did collect some listener questions from the Instagram story, and we actually have some good questions. So I'll keep that up. But let's start off. Should we go back and forth with that?
No, I really, for sake of content, I think it'd be easier to go through.
Okay. Very good. Well, should I start, or do you want to start?
You start.
I start?
Yeah.
Mine are good.
Or should I start? Because I'll go.
Okay.
Okay.
Let them rip.
So we wanted to get into our top 10 camera accessories this time. So this, for me, my qualifiers for this list were things that I use basically every shoot.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this at all. So it could be a myriad of things. So you guys are getting the full scoop here.
All right, here's my number one, step-up rings.
Okay.
Here's the deal.
That almost made my list.
Always buy the biggest 82 millimeter. Is that the biggest?
Generally, that's really...
If you're not going to buy the drop-in filters, get an 82 millimeter lens. Not lens. An 82 millimeter filter. And then step it down to whatever lens you need to.
If you're really bougie, that's when you get a matte box, like a cheap matte box, like $200, and just drop in the filters. But those filters are like $400 a piece. Yeah. So minimum.
I mean, they are nice.
They're so nice. And they'll last you forever, and you can put them on any camera.
It'll make you look more of a pro.
Yeah, you will get clients based on if you have a matte box or not. This is true. At least referrals.
My number two, a mag mod, which
that's a hot take.
Not a sponsored promo, but in my personal opinion, you could buy any cheap lens you wanted to, put a mag mod on it, and the light's going to be good.
Explain a mag mod to those who don't know.
Is basically a little dome that goes on top of your lens, and it
on your flash. You've been saying lens this whole time. And I was like, what are you talking about?
A mag mod is basically like a little dome that goes on top of your lens, and it perfectly balances
your flash. You said it again.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I am putting it on my lens.
Is that why you've been getting such good diffuse shots? Instead of putting Vaseline on the corner of his lens, he just gets the mag mod.
Shoots the mag mod.
So basically, mag mod is like a system of adapters for your flashes.
It's a diffuser, basically.
Yeah, but there's all types of attachments. Yeah. There's like the cone one.
Specifically, though, like the OG mag mod dome.
It's kind of like a lantern attachment kind of deal for your, which is...
And so basically... not reflects, but
diffuses.
Yeah, sends your light in all directions. Yeah. I mean, you won't get a softer skin from a flash than the mag mod.
That's true. That's undeniably true. I will say I'm not a huge fan of the mag mods. I also don't have one because they are $80. Yeah. And
they're least because once you buy it, you still then have to buy the base that attaches it to your lens.
Yeah.
I don't even use a base. I literally stuff a paper towel in it and it works fine.
Which that might get me to buy one.
Yeah.
Okay. Number three,
which probably is on your list, a Peak Design camera strap.
Okay.
It's easy. You can take it on and off. It's the best strap in the game. I don't know many people that would argue that.
So which one? You have the slide and then the slide light. Which do you prefer?
The slide, but the slide light is nice.
Yeah. That was your birthday present to yourself
camera.
Last year.
Yeah.
Or bachelor party.
Bachelor party.
So that was a good one.
So, yeah, I mean... I need to start using that because that one's currently still on my Leica that's broken that I don't carry.
Right.
So
I'm in the same boat on that.
We'll see. I need to buy a new phone camera, which is a topic for another day.
Yeah. I got into a little text argument. Not actually, but I texted one of my buddies who's been posting exclusively about the X100 recently. I literally texted him. I was like, you need to stop posting because you're actually convincing me. His name's Josh Estes, so go check out his work. I think his account is Josh Films, and then Josh Estes is his personal, but... He has elite Fujifilm presets that he's giving away right now. So shameless plug, but go check him out.
Number 4, And this one you can kind of go any direction with, but it's just a pocket knife. It's not really a camera accessory, but I think any
Are we talking pocket knife or multi-tool?
multi-tool.
Okay.
So my multi-tool is very robust, and I'm surprised I don't have it on me. I usually always carry it. It has scissors in it, pliers in it, a knife, basically any
Do you
tool.
know the brand?
I wish I could shout them out.
Because I do Victorinox, which is like Swiss Army, and then a lot of people use Leathermans, but those are expensive.
Mine was literally like $20 on Amazon, but I literally bought it because I wanted to carry it in New York, and New York has super strict like knife laws.
Yeah.
Which is shocking because of the crime there, but
well, that might be why. They just know no one's armed.
Yeah. So yeah, because the amount of times that I can then like use that to like unscrew my strap or whatever I need to use it for, it's just
Did
very
you see
handy.
Peak Design actually just released a new base plate for their tripod system that you don't need the camera tool anymore because I'm sure they had so many people complaining about carrying a hex key around all the time.
It is.
And I carry one on my keys.
It's on my keys.
Yeah, but they incorporated like a new tool into the tripod plate so you don't have to worry about it anymore, which props to you, Peak Design, for knowing your customer base. That's a company that like gets photographers and videographers straight up.
I mean, talk about just
the bag is right there.
Yeah.
Like elite bag. I fit this entire setup in that bag. Which
that is nice.
That's nuts.
That's incredible. I mean, it's a big setup. It's 2 lights, like
2 lights. I didn't put stands or a tripod because most of the time you can just have those on set with you anyways. So,
okay, I'm going to come back to my list, but I have to let y'all know something that I discovered today.
All right.
PlayStation has new dynamic pricing. Have you seen this?
No.
It's probably one of the most terrible business moves I've ever seen in my life.
Is it like if a game's popular, it's more expensive?
Kind of.
Oh, gosh.
It's worse than that, though. It punishes people for buying games. So if you buy games often, your games will be more expensive because they know you're willing to spend money, and they'll give discounts to people that don't buy games.
That's what my Amazon does.
It should be the opposite, though, right?
I buy my stuff on 2 separate accounts. I have my family's Prime, and then my wife has Prime. And I buy certain stuff on each account because it'll give discounts to each account differently, which is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I think dynamic pricing should be illegal. Like, the price is the price.
This is true.
If there's a discount, it's for everyone.
That's the bump I ran into with the Sue-Ray lenses is all of a sudden the price dropped to 70% lower than the original price. And I was like, so you're telling me I invested it into nothing? Like, essentially, I bought a stock that dropped 70%.
Have you seen the price of oil?
Mm-hmm.
60 to 112 in one day.
Don't even ask me what stocks I bought the other day. Do you know I bought so much?
Really?
Yes. Yeah, because I'm not this is not financial advice.
Buy the dip.
This is not financial advice. Look at a company's chart over the past year, over the past 5 years. If it's been on a steady incline and then it dropped because of the war in about a few years when the war's over, maybe a decade, it'll drop back up to that steady raise. I'm not a financial advisor. Legally, I have to say that is not financial advice. But that is proven time and time again. So I bought Carnival Cruise Line because Carnival Cruise Line has had slowly just the nicest raise up over time, dip because of the war. They'll be back up in no time.
They'll be back. Who's gonna knock out
and
Carnival?
You knock down the capital gains tax the longer you hold your shares. Elite ball knowledge.
Come on.
I didn't even go to college. So don't listen to me.
Okay, back to cameras.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you on 4?
5. My 5th item is an SD card case.
Mm.
Once again, buy any brand you want, but it just changed for me. I literally would just throw mine in my bag and just be like,
Yeah.
And just having them organized where you can put like stuff with
Yeah,
data
empty
on
cards. Yeah. And also just like the amount of times that you have to give a second shooter a card.
Mm-hmm. And it's just protection.
You need a case. Yeah. And
you're way less likely
what
to
if
lose
your
it.
bag gets wet and then your SD card gets wet? Like, a lot of people carry their SD cards in a Ziploc, and that's how you end up with an SD card that's like crumpled.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore.
I've broken quite a few SD cards.
I can imagine. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I remember it was literally just last year that you got an SD card case. Didn't I get you that?
You got it for me, yeah.
I'm looking out for you, man.
Number 7, a camera cage.
Okay.
This is controversial because obviously videographers need it for attachments, I guess some photographers use attachments too. I literally just
for sure.
I was just at a wedding and they were using the camera umbrella, which I think is one of the worst attachments ever made.
I think so. When we talk about a matte box getting you clients, if you want to talk about something repelling clients, it's the camera umbrella.
Okay, so mind you, it was raining, so she was justified in using it. But I've seen people use it just to like keep the glare off their screen. And I'm like, that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. They literally make adapters for like camera screens that are a little hood over your screen, so you don't have to use an umbrella. It looks stupid.
I'm just like
also the risk of poking your eye. Sorry.
You're not wrong. And also it's weird because she has it set vertically, but then she's taking horizontal photos and then it's getting rained on.
Half the time, camera's getting wet.
It's just like, what are you doing?
Like, why don't you have two umbrellas?
Yeah.
If you're going to full send.
Yeah.
Come on. All right, number 6.
Anyways, but I think, even if you're not going to do attachments, just a camera cage protects your camera from chips, drops. I mean, it won't drop-proof it.
You said something one time that actually convinced me to buy a camera cage. Yes, it convinced me to buy a camera cage. Someone once told you that it's when you move your camera around, the camera's not getting scratched, the cage is. And then also with using so many tripods, like you're not screwing into your quarter 20 on the bottom of your camera and risking devaluing your camera. You're screwing into the bottom of the cage.
Yeah.
Therefore,
it's a cage.
It's just a cage. It's a piece of metal. It's like $40 too. If you get like a cinema camera, it can be like $250. But even then, worth,
Yeah. My 8th item is just a cheap, honestly not cheap. It's just a small light to go on top of your camera. So
that's an interesting take.
It can be a Nan light. It can be a Lume Cube. I find Lume Cubes not to be bright enough for what I want to do usually.
They also have more diffusion on them.
I really like the tubes, like the Nan light Pavo tube.
Okay.
It's for usually like if you're going to shoot like a concert or, I mean, not really a concert because you're not allowed to, but like
vlogs and stuff.
Yes.
Like even at dances, like at weddings, there's a lot of times where videographers will attach.
It's so nice to have and mind you, you will blind your subject sometimes, but it's worth it for the shot.
And honestly, like at a wedding, they're into it. Like it's not gonna deter someone, especially if you are a fun hang. You've built that relationship. Also for like people shooting YouTube content, everyone has a light on their camera these days, and if you do your settings right, it doesn't look horrible.
Yeah. All right, my number 9. Honestly, not as much you have to have it, but really something that I've enjoyed having is my 82mm lens diopters.
Okay.
Super cheap on Amazon. I think they're like $20. And I mean, just the shots they allow you to get with some macro shots. And you think you would lose quality. And maybe, I'm sure you lose some.
Yeah.
But not a significant amount where you're like getting unusable photos.
Diopters are basically like magnifying glasses for your lens. So like on anamorphics, the minimum focal distance can be like 1.5 feet or 2 feet. So like you're not getting tight macro shots with anamorphic lenses. Like this lens, I think is 3 feet minimum focal distance.
Crazy one.
So, if you want to get anywhere close to your subject, you kind of need to have a diopter. So it's literally just magnifying your image and giving you more play for, $30. And, when you're cutting in those shots, unless you're doing like a major nature documentary, then you'd spend the money and get nicer ones. But when you're cutting in those shots, no one's going to notice a quality difference between like the two lenses in a 1 second shot. Like people cut into different cameras all the time. So it's been interesting.
In my last item, once again, not really a camera accessory, but something that I think every photographer should have is your own printer at your home studio. Now it can be as good of a printer, as bad as a printer if you want. I have a small little Polaroid printer that I print 4x6s on. Yeah. And some people say your work isn't done until you print it. And to some extent, I think that's true. And so I used to have a wall of photos here, and then they all fell down because I didn't use the right adhesive. So one day it'll go back up. But it's just like, I like just having like a
reminder of the times. And also just like nothing's better than when you feel like, oh, am I a good photographer? And you turn around and you see all your best work.
Yeah. And you don't always want to print them as big as these. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a bunch of 2x3, like wallet-sized ones. It's pretty great. Are we ready for mine?
I'm ready.
A lot of mine are similar to yours, so I'm going to not harp on them. Number 1, this is quite literally I can't live without this. It is so if you were to give me a camera package and say, you know how at the airport you can only bring like a quart-sized Ziploc with this many ounces.
Yeah.
If you were to give me a gallon-sized Ziploc to fill with camera gear, a Polar Pro variable ND filter 2 to 5 stop would 100% be in there. There's not a single like shoot that I've gone on where a Polar Pro variable ND filter, specifically I believe the Peter McKinnon one, it has not been in my bag.
It's so good.
It can be the difference between me going home and getting it and being late to a shoot, which I don't have to do. But there's been a couple times where I've forgotten like the step-up ring, and I don't even use the lens because I'm like, okay, well, I have to use a lens that it fits on because it makes that big of a difference. So that is my number one, absolutely. My number two, in a similar vein, Polar Pro UV filters.
So good.
I'm not worried about the UV matters. Like, it's important. I'm worried about keeping my lenses quality and resellable, and not collecting dust on them. Like, the fact that I can know that this lens has not even touched sand or anything since it's been unboxed is a great feeling. I shoot at the beach a lot, especially during the summers. So knowing that I can just literally splash some water on the front of my lens and the sand is gone without scratching, having that quartz material that can literally, it won't knock your image. You would be, I think it's like hundreds of megapixels that you can't see the difference on in quartz, which is insane. Number 3, this is one of the first gear items I bought, and I want to hear your thoughts on this one because this is arguably a hot take to be sitting at number 3. It could have been my number 1, dummy battery.
I think you have to be careful with what brands you buy dummy batteries
I'm
from.
talking not the off-brand batteries, the ones that plug into the wall.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, like there's been so many times where I need to leave a camera running for hours, and that's the only way to do it. Like, unless you have V-mounts, which cost like $400.
Yeah.
Not even worth. And you don't have to have a whole ecosystem to charge your camera with a dummy battery like you do a V-mount.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of dummy batteries.
With my experience with dummy batteries, though, still, so like the ones I've bought don't always last. So I feel like I would buy a quality dummy. Like, I don't see the $7 one on Amazon.
I buy the $30 one off Amazon, and it lasts forever. It's like, I mean, it's literally a piece of plastic.
I don't know. Maybe my problem's been, I guess, yeah, if you plug it into the wall. I've never had one that plugs into the wall, though. I've had one that you plug into like a
power bank. Oh, those don't last.
Yeah.
Those do not last. The ones that plug into the wall, though, do. Yeah, you're right about that. The dummy batteries that are USB-C don't last.
Yeah.
That's a good take. Okay, number 4 is my camera cage. I mean, talk about reliability. Like, just knowing there's like extra places to add. I love adding side handles, especially when I'm in events, because I can just put my camera down by my side and not worry about it falling, or add different strap attachments. Just knowing I don't have to have a tripod base plate because it's an Arca Swiss mount and I can just plug into the tripod immediately is a great feeling. Having those NATO rails, I mean, I don't really use them that much, but it's great. Number 5, rocket duster. When I tell you I did not clean my lenses for the first like 4 years of owning them, like I didn't actually clean them. And then one day I started working with someone and they had a rocket duster, and now I'm addicted. Like, every single time I get a lens out, I like dust it off real quick.
That's good.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Because it keeps your stuff resellable. It doesn't, like, I didn't realize how I needed to keep my stuff resellable until I bought RF and I had to sell all my EF stuff. So it is worth it. Okay, number 6. This is kind of a hot take to be this high on the list. Magic arm with clamp.
That is good.
Because having, like, just the ability to clamp your camera to anything, or, like, screw in a monitor somewhere where you need to have a monitor, add a mic somewhere, like, closer to your subject, and you have, like, a weird sticky situation. Like, having the clamp attachment alongside the magic arm, and magic arms in general are quite literally like a gift from God to help your setup.
They're incredible.
So, especially if you need to get behind the scenes stuff. Like, I literally have mounted a magic arm to the front of my camera and then put a GoPro facing me and my camera, so you can not only see the camera, you can see me, you can see my hands, and I shot BTS that way, which was kind of lit. Number 7, SD card holder.
Come on.
Like, there's no other way to do it. Having a good one is important too. one that like clamps down really secure. Doesn't have to be expensive, just like one that actually clamps down and not just a little button. I also think the ones that like charge and stuff and like are SD card readers too. I think that's a little gimmicky. You know, let each tool do its job individually, in my opinion. Camera base plate. This is different than the cage. This like allows you to put your camera down flat and it doesn't tip or wobble. The amount of times that I have to put my camera down in a random spot at an event to like work on the camera or tweak the camera, and I just don't want it tipping or, you know, swaying or anything. That, and it also is Arca Swiss, so it can just lock into any tripod. Kind of elite. Peak Design strap, number 9.
Nice.
I have the slide and the slide light. I need to get the wrist strap. I saw somebody using it the other day, and I also almost dropped my camera the other day because I was just like tired, and I just kind of almost dropped it, and I was like, you know what? It's time for that. Number 10, this has changed my life. It doesn't need to be the Pelican brand, but a hard case. I've had a hard case since the beginning. Not a nice one, but if you can afford to get one with wheels, like, come on. That is
ideal.
That is worth. So
that was a good list.
I appreciate it.
I think, what do you think we missed?
I think we missed, well, I didn't include any microphones.
Yeah.
Microphones are the most important thing of all time. That's another thing that goes in my camera kit. Top handles and side handles. Dare I say unnecessary? Dare I say it?
Well, so I just did a shoot, and I used my wireless pros, and our videographers usually use the wireless 2s, wireless 2 go 2s.
Yeah.
And I delivered him the footage, and he was like, dude, this audio is so good. Like, how do you do this? And I was like, oh, I use like my pros. And he was like, I did not realize it made that much of a difference.
It does.
And I was like, yeah, 100%. If I were to invest in
not 100%, $200,
it would be that.
Percent.
Yeah. Are they that much more?
Yeah, it's expensive. It's a $400 versus like $150 difference.
Sometimes I forget. Like, I'll have a piece of gear and I'll forget like how much I bought it for.
Well, when we were doing when I was doing our taxes, I was like, guys, like we need to chill out on how much gear we buy. The other thing, did you plug them into your camera or did you offload the clips?
Into my camera.
Oh, okay.
But then I also delivered it like the.
Okay, yeah. Because if you
download
do
it
that,
from.
it's way better. It's way better. Because then you actually get the 32-bit flow.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we get into the 2 questions
Let's
I have?
do it.
We're doing good on time. Okay. So this is kind of like a wild thing because you need to be really like on your game with it. But as I was editing like this wedding video the other week, I was like focused on my color grade. And I was like, okay, I really want this to look like a luxury wedding. And so I focused on actually not grading it intensively and just grading it in a supernatural way, but with still like high dynamic range almost. So I really watched my contrast and I really like made sure everything was perfect to make it more timeless. Whereas I usually am more in like alignment with like a trendy color grade where I do more punchy colors or I lean to like a split tone or a tone curve or something. But when do you think, and this applies to photo too mainly.
Yeah.
When do you think you should focus on timeless edits versus trendy edits? And like, how do you know which applies to what? Especially in like events, culture, and like weddings.
There's a saying, and it's the client's always right.
This is true.
And I feel like a lot of times when it comes to creative work, we can have a vision for a project, and the client will dramatically change whatever we thought it was going to go in the direction of.
Yeah.
And it like, so we do a lot of weddings, and a lot of times you would think when you're 80 on your deathbed and you look back at your photos, you're going to wish that you had a more timeless edit than you asked your photographer for. I mean,
I couldn't agree more.
And everyone wants these cinematic looks, and they look good, right? I mean, it's in style, it's in trend. Like, yeah, I mean, it looks good. And then you're going to be 80 and you're going to look back and you're going to be like, man, why did I want this blurry photo?
Like the Salmon Boys.
Yeah. Literally. And so I'm just like, but again, it's like whatever the client wants. And so you can give your client your advice. You can make recommendations. But at the end of the day, that's what's hard about being in the creative industry. Because it's even if it's your project, who's funding it?
Yes. And so that is a really good point. I like to think of it like this. especially when I do weddings. So when someone prints these photos in their house, are these going to give off a vibe of, oh, I know when your wedding was based off the photo? Because I have some friends who have photos printed in their house. And there was nothing wrong with the photos. They were sharp. The person used the right f-stop for group photos. There was no weird motion blur, no weird artifacting. Just plain Jane, good photos. But in the way that they colored the oranges, you can tell what year they were taken. And I think overall that really plays into things is think about, okay, is this customer going to print these? And like, what is the purpose behind it? Like, is it a sports thing that is in vogue right now that's trendy? You know, are these going to be printed in a magazine that needs to be trendy? Or is this more of like a wall print that's going to go in someone's home and be there for the rest of their life, and like they want it to look like in style for the rest of their life?
But I think that's also something that we've lost, is shooting a photo with an intended medium picked out beforehand.
I agree.
It's always like multimedia. We want it to be used here, 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 and here. So you just shoot it in the easiest way possible. You edit it in like an easy. But it's like when you were shooting the Olympics in 1930. I'm assuming that's when they had black and white cameras. I don't actually know my history that well.
Yes.
You know it's going in the newspaper. So it's going to be a black and white photo going in the newspaper. You can frame that. You know exactly like how it's going to be used. You shoot a photo today, it's going to be on Instagram, Facebook, maybe YouTube,
TikTok,
maybe a billboard.
Yeah.
All these different ways. It's going to be stretched. It's going to be cropped. And you just lose so much of the control.
Yeah.
And so even when you get to do a wedding, I mean, they're probably going to put it in an album. They're going to post it on Instagram. They're going to maybe put a frame up in their house. So it's like, what medium are you shooting for?
Yeah.
Which you look at Hasselblad cameras with the 100 megapixels.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that you're kind of shooting for a humongous print in mind.
Right.
And so when you're picking your camera out again, I guess we're both R6 shooters. I don't really think there's a specific medium that's targeted for.
Well, so you can print really high quality for like 2x3, which is that up there, feet, 2x3 feet, at 300 ppi, which is great. So there's someone I want to call attention to in this matter, which is this girl. I think her name's like Jess Photos or something. She's on Instagram. She's on TikTok, and she's always making these videos about how she sells, like how she bids on like $60,000 photo contracts. And that's awesome. Her work is insanely good. And when I tell you, her work is so dynamic in the way that she can pull out all the stops in whatever you're looking for. So like if you're looking for, I mean, she does lean towards sports and dare I say more of like a Nike-esque, like that punchy, grungy,
Like grain, texture.
grainy, textury, billboard style photo. She does lean towards that, but within that, she's shooting images specifically knowing that there's probably going to be text overlaid onto them. And having that in mind and being able to pitch like, this is such a good photo that it can stand alone by itself, but in the same way, like, here's where you can put your text in this sidebar. Here's like, if you were to write something across the glasses in this Nike ad, like, that would be sick. Like, knowing that in your mind, I feel like that has become a lost art, and that's what separates, like, an insane photographer who's making millions versus, like, your average Joe Schmo bringing in a couple $1,000 a month and doing well. You know, like, that is how it goes.
I mean, it is weird. So I delivered a video the other day, and I put the subject in like the lower third, not in the dead center, and they were like, why did you not shoot it in the center? And I was like, because then if I want to put in like a fly something in from the side or like put text, like that would be like hard to do, and they just didn't get that. And I was like, no, like I'm trying to justify it to someone who doesn't understand.
Trying to justify how you justified your subject.
Yes, no, literally. And so eventually I was just like, you know what, it was a creative decision. If you want it in the center, just crop it, whatever. But it's better to have it.
Was it vertical or horizontal?
Horizontal.
Okay, yeah.
So it's just like,
that makes sense.
I don't want it in the center. Like, sorry. And I was like, I chose that. They're like, they thought it was like a mistake. It's like, no, like that's how I wanted it.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes. Okay. I have another question for us. Do you think we beat the dead horse on that first question?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay,
good.
baller. Second one. This is kind of controversial because it ebbs and flows for me. And then I have a spicy question that is following this up. So the common man would ask, how do you pick your frame rate? And I want to get into that a little bit initially. I mean, there's a couple main frame rates. There's 23.98. There's 29.98. There's 59.98. And there's 120. 119.98. So, those are your main food groups. Like, that's your food pyramid of frame rates. 24 is like your cinematic, like smooth, very like
It's your standard, I would say.
yeah, like a lot of motion blur. Like we're shooting in 24 right now. So like when I move my arm around, there's motion blur associated with it. 30 is TV broadcast, like they picked that because there was a 6 gigahertz band width between each channel on the TV, and so within that they needed space on each side of the channel, so they slimmed down to 4.5 gigahertz, and then they rounded off that number to like a version of that number, which ended up putting them at 30, but then they needed to round that down to fit within that 4.5, which ended up being 29.98. Super nerdy, but that's why you have those 0.98s, is they just needed it to fit within the frame rate bands of the TV, like how fast signals were coming in from antennas and satellites and everything. So then you have, that's what 30 is like 30 is much more standard motion blur. Like you watch the news, that's in 30 FPS. Now, then you get into like action sports. And people always say that they like shooting action sports in 60 and not slowing it down. And in a way, I agree, because it preserves that like high intensity image. Like at beach camp, like I shoot in 60, and oftentimes I don't slow it down because when people get up in my face in the camera or like throw a ball, like there is that like shock factor of like how jittery there's no motion blur really. Yeah. How jittery the ball's moving. Like it's almost like a shutter. Like you can feel like each camera shake, whereas 24, like if you shake the camera a little bit, like can't really notice. Then 120, which, my guy, if you're exporting in 120, like in a 120 timeline, you're insane. Your file is going to be massive. So 120 is pretty much exclusively for slowing down. But this is where the hot take question comes in, is do you know anyone, or have you ever used 30 to slow down to 24 at 80%?
No, I've never seen
Exactly. Like, we should check into that because a lot of people do it and it's weird. Because like 80%.
Why would you do that?
To get like a tiny bit of slow mo. Because like 80%.
I think it wouldn't even be noticeable.
It would be a little.
Like it would look weird, like off.
Yeah, it would look off. But like think about like someone smiling like that versus like a little slower versus like 60 to 24. Yeah. Is like, and then 120 would be like, so like, is there a case for that? Because a lot of people do that.
I think it could. I honestly don't know video specs well enough to like, I literally just pick a frame rate and stick to it. Like if I know I'm going to slow anything down, I'm shooting 60 or 120. Like.
Right. Okay. So when you're shooting, what if you're like, do you ever think like, oh shoot, I'm not going to slow all of the stuff in my project timeline down? Or is it always everything slow-mo?
No, I definitely do. But like you were saying, I guess I use it to my advantage. That's not true. I don't know. I honestly haven't really done a video project in a while where I've had to switch between the two. Because, I mean, when I started, I wasn't even caring about frame rate. I would literally just I would shoot 24 and then 60 and just slow down 60 in a 24 timeline and not even do the math.
That's what I do.
So like it like wouldn't even like I wasn't even doing it the right way.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like what I typically do is shoot both 24 and 60 and know like, okay, like these shots, like people, it's really hard to decide. But like if I'm shooting audio, I'm shooting 24, and if I'm shooting video like worship or like people walking into a room or walking out of the room and smiling, talking, I'm shooting 60 and slowing it down. So like that way there's not like that advantage. Because when I'm shooting like sports and stuff, I'll shoot in 60 and leave it all like sometime, but I'll always export in 24.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference is you don't get that shake that I was talking about if you shoot in 60 and export in 60. You have to shoot in 60 and then bring it into a 24 timeline, but not slow it down. So, I don't know. This is getting really in the weeds.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
I think, I would agree.
Cool.
But you want to know something that I was thinking about?
Let's rip it.
If you're ever going to shoot and you think to yourself, I don't need to shoot audio for this, just go ahead and shoot audio.
See, that's a wild take because one of my friends, he was shooting for me as a volunteer. It was like a church event, and he got out like his nice mic, like his FX3 top handle, which sucks, by the way, because it exports to .movie files, which is insane. Don't even talk to me about that. But he got out his nice Sennheiser mic and like his FX3 top handle and shot audio, but he was shooting in 120. I'm like, I'm not going to use your audio like at all. Like one, we aren't even using audio in the video. It's a looping background video, like for while they talk about it. Like essentially like, you know, when you walk into a room and there's like basically a fish tank on the wall.
Yeah.
Like that's what we were making. Wasn't that serious, except it was that serious because I needed all the footage. And I was like, no, seriously, like, don't worry about shooting audio. I think that's such a hot take because I'm so intentional with my audio. Like, you know how I edit audio. Like,
well, okay. Mine was I was shooting a video and I wanted it like basically I was thinking to myself, oh, I'll just shoot like a silent film and I'll just dub or put in any sound
video?
effects. It was for church.
Okay.
And it was like a promotional video.
Okay.
And I was like, no. And we were shooting on a busy street and I was like, I don't want to have to deal with like trying to like work with this audio. Like I'll literally just sound effects everything, dub anything that I need. And then I did it and then basically I ended up changing the video like mid-shoot where I included a second person because it was originally just going to be one person, so I didn't need dialogue. The guy said something really funny that would have been really good in the video if I was recording audio, and then I could never use it.
But, like, would you have actually used that in the video?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
But, like, is that the point of the video?
Yeah, it's a comedy video, yeah.
Oh.
It's basically a, like, typical 3-story, like, something goes wrong, resolution, and then ending, like, getting invited to Palm Sunday.
Dang.
And so it's like,
okay.
And the original conflict was basically he drops a donut, and then the conflict got changed to he gets patted on the back really hard, the donut goes flying, and then when he said it, if I was recording audio, it would have been the chef's kiss. So now it's just like chef.
I think this is one of the things that we'll probably never agree on.
Really?
Because I truly,
I just think you can never have too much to use. You can always cut away. But it's
bro, I don't agree because whenever I shoot like event recap videos, I'll ask for them to record every single speaking time.
Yeah.
So like whenever someone's up at the mic on stage, it's rolling an audio thing from the sound booth into like a USB stick for me to have. And going through like 8 hours of like a weekend conference to cut it down into a video is the worst thing ever.
No, that's when you just have someone like do timestamps for you.
But guess what? I don't have that. I don't even have like a graphics person. I am the graphics person.
You just got to get a volunteer. That's what I did at women's conference. I was like, hey, just like give me a pull quote and a timestamp. And
dude, no, that's crazy. You asked someone to do that for
yeah,
you?
like why not? She's already going.
Like a coworker?
Like a volunteer.
Oh my gosh. You're like, take good sermon notes because I'm going to use them for this video.
Yeah.
That low-key might be the play. Like, be like, hey, you're already taking notes for your sermon. Like, if you hear any quotes, like, set a stopwatch on your timer. We'll sync it up. Give them a time code box. Plug a tentacle sync into their journal. Just be like, here's a tentacle sync for your journal. Plug it in.
Yeah.
Where? I don't know. Figure it out. But do you use time code at where you work?
They do. I don't use it that often.
Okay. Yeah, we never do. And so it always falls on me to like make it work. And it stinks. Like it really does. Cuz I have to trust people that they're going to stick with the program because you know me.
Yeah.
I stick with the program. Like
no deviation.
What I said is gonna be like that's what we're playing, and don't mess around, you know. And I feel like so many people are like, oh well, can we like change the flow of this? And I'm like, okay, so remember when we talked about this and I said there could be no changes of the song because I literally spent 40 hours making this video that syncs perfectly with the song for the LED wall. So I have to be able to trust people not to do stuff like that, and it's so hard for me.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
It's interesting for me now because I used to like shoot, edit, deliver, all of that.
Yeah.
And now, like for that video I was just talking about, I literally didn't shoot, didn't edit. All I did was come up with the idea and direct it. So it's like,
yeah, I wish I
those
could
are
do that.
two different completely. And like I could have done a better job, honestly, because I wasn't prepared to go into that. I was like, in my head, I was like, this is how it's gonna look.
Right.
But then I realized that I'm not shooting or editing it, so I need to do a better job of clarifying that in the meantime.
I'm scared I'll never get out of the world where I'm doing everything myself.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
definitely,
think I will.
you just have to like find a spot where like the team, you have a creative team, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like
I just don't think
when I
I'll-
worked at the law firm and I was doing everything, it just burns you. And now it's like, oh great, we have a content writer, we have someone who can do video, we have graphics, we have editors. And it's like, do you know how nice that is?
I don't have any of that.
And like, do you know how nice that is for them to just do what they're good at too?
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah. That is the problem is like typically when I go somewhere.
Like, right, if you were to post something, you would like come up with the idea, shoot it, edit it, caption it,
get it
do the
approved,
graphics
get
for
it
it.
approved
Yeah.
too,
so it's just like,
which doesn't always happen.
yeah.
You know, so yeah, mainly coming up with the ideas and then like getting it in on time and like having the communication of, okay, what are we needing to communicate in the first place? So like sometimes that's not even made up until it's time to shoot the video, and then you're like, okay, well, what are we actually making this video about? And you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's a whole thing.
I literally can't never hype my team up enough. I was like,
You're in a crazy spot
working
too.
with professionals that are good at what they do. Like,
That is the emphasis I want to make, is you're in a crazy spot because it's not barely anywhere in the world is there a place where everyone on the team is actually good at what they do. Because I'm in a current situation. This is not related to where I work currently, but it's like it's in a personal work kind of deal. But the person who runs the camera for something that I'm working on isn't good at running the camera.
that's a hard spot.
And it's a remote kind of deal to where I have no collaboration. It's only like, okay, they do camera, and like, I don't know. You never know if someone knows like what they're doing is wrong, you know?
Yeah. And you know what a scary feeling is? When you are shooting it and you're dropping it off to an editor.
Oh my
who's
gosh.
going to look at everything
Personally,
you did.
I love that because you know me about being in camera.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, that's pretty much all I care about is in camera, and long takes, like making sure because I am usually that editor. So going into that as a shooter and being like, let me get these long takes for this editor is a joy.
It's crazy because I don't think I was exposed to the industry of there being like just editors.
Yeah.
People who like just receives the footage and then can go with it. I was always like, oh, like, well, no, they would need to know like what goes where, but it's like, no, they're just getting it.
Right.
They have an idea
and we
for it.
make it work.
Yeah.
You know, so there's two different ways that you can do that too. So if you actually genuinely are scared, like when you do that, you can pull your own selects, and that is acceptable generally. I would highly recommend you pull your own selects and then you also give them all the clips. So essentially what you do is what we do, which is like you import all your clips, import your project file, do all that, put it in a timeline, make a selects timeline, cut all your selects, ripple delete. Then you can like rank your clips. So like first bar is okay, second bar is better, third bar is best in like your timeline, like V1, V2, V3. And then don't export your timeline, just save it, send the entire folder with all the clips, all the raw footage to the editor. Be like, hey, I pulled some selects for you. If you want to use them. If not, just like go through the footage and do it yourself, which in a way you're risking wasting your own time, but I can almost guarantee 99% of the time the editor is just going to use your selects because like they're going to,
yeah.
especially if you shot. Well, that's not necessarily true. If you shot in 24, I can almost guarantee that would be the case. In 120, there's there's way more room for play on a professional editor to be like, holy cow, I got this like split sec. You filmed this split second, and I was able to when I slowed it down to 40% or 20%. When I slowed it down to 20%, it was long enough to be what I need. So,
Yeah.
As someone who's like been in both positions and honestly mainly edits, it is pretty 50-50. But like in the professional world, like I shoot more for myself and I edit more for other people. So it works out. But that can give you some ease of comfort.
Yeah.
And it saves your editor time.
True.
Which they will forever love you for. I used to hate people who were like, will you pull your own selects? Or like, will you send me all your best clips? And I'm like, dude.
I will stand by this till the day I die. Culling is the worst part of editing.
Yeah.
Editing is fun. Culling sucks.
My issue with editing is I'm always on such a tight deadline, like a 24-hour turnaround or like a 72-hour turnaround. I never have time to get through what I want to do in the edit.
I'm just like,
because I don't have teams.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't procrastinate editing. I procrastinate culling. If I could go from if I could come home from a shoot and my photos were cold when I got home, I would start editing instantly.
Really?
Yeah.
You know there's AI for that. Do you trust it?
No, but maybe I should.
Lightroom has assisted culling now. That might help a little bit, get you started.
Like, I literally would turn projects because, like, when I come home after a shoot, I'm ready. Like, I wish I could just dive in and like, go find that one photo that I know is going to be a banger. And then I wait 2 weeks, and I'm like, I forget.
I remember this one time in I think I was technically right out of high school, and I was dog sitting for someone at their house. So I was staying. I was single, too. Didn't have a girlfriend. Nothing, I don't think. And I was staying at their house dog sitting. So I quite literally had nothing to do. And I think I had 5 senior shoots in 1 week. And I turned on Ted Lasso, watched all of it, and I sat there and did same night turnarounds for all 5 of those senior shoots.
That's crazy.
Because, like, once I dialed in like my ranking system in Lightroom, I was good.
I can edit and watch a show or YouTube, but I can't cull. When I'm culling,
Seriously,
I have to sit down.
Well, I feel like Ted Lasso is a show you can listen to. It's very low, like it's emotional, but it's not like a. I mean, it's not like breaking the bars of intelligence, you know. So, I mean, it's a great show.
Yeah.
But okay, well, happy birthday. It's Luke's birthday. Everyone.
On.
Well,
yesterday.
Tomorrow. Yeah. The day we're filming this, which is
the day before.
12 hours before this episode releases. It's Luke's birthday. So spam happy birthday in the comments. I also beg you. I beg. Please follow us on Spotify. Rate the podcast. Please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And also share this with a friend. Because we're turning the page. We're not going to be rage baiters anymore. We're going to be joy
I think
givers.
It might be time for like a professional intro.
Please no.
Please on Spotify, like getting the theme music before the episode. Come on.
Theme music might be bopping.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can.
Welcome back to another episode of,
That's a little different. I thought you meant like a jingle.
No.
You've been trying to sell me on a jingle for a long time.
Cort and Luke in the wild.